Don't throw it. Maybe the chorus is brand new. Brand New Day by Bryan Adams. Don't you remember there's a hip hop song and like there's like a... Okay, you can start it. Or did you start it?
Yeah, I did.
You son of a bitch. That's why I love you. That's why you're the number one producer in the Jody Mitic podcast category
Right?
of Jody Mitic podcast.
Exactly. 2016. We're going to.
Don't you? There's that hip hop song, and in the chorus, it was like you heard like they looped in the. It sounded like a woman saying "brand new, brand new, brand new."
I don't know it. I wish I did.
Oh, who did it? I can't remember. Oh, okay. Shoot. Okay, I got a song though. I think this one will work. Stay with us, troops. Stay with us. Hold fast. Oh, I lost it. No, oh, there it is. There's a reason why I'm being picky tonight, guys. Today.
Yeah, it's got to be just right.
It might seem crazy what
Yeah.
I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. It might seem crazy what I'm about
How long
to
was that?
say.
10 seconds?
10? We'll go with 10.
Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care.
There
So
it
it's
is.
maybe 30 seconds?
Yeah, ish.
Ish,
We're
yeah.
good.
So why are we so happy?
There's lots of
Because,
reasons.
well, the number one is Luke and I are rocking our brand new state-of-the-art Jody Mitic podcast t-shirts.
Yes, we certainly are.
Just arrived in the mail. See, we're in this place called Canada,
Yep.
and it took a while. Like,
Yeah.
I think, so we've seen Echo Charles, we've seen Jocko, we've seen Logan, we've seen a whole bunch of people in the States rocking it,
Yeah.
getting text messages and stuff, but finally in Canada,
They
people
got the
are going to
shit-
start putting them on and tagging us, I think.
They got it before we did.
Well,
For
it
sure.
makes sense because we went through Jocko's guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great guy to deal with.
Yeah.
Just the whole border thing is still something we're sorting out, I think.
Bit of a holdup at the old border.
Yeah. But we have now some new friends of the podcast that I think could help us sort out our distribution and manufacture in Canada.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Tactical Beaver,
Yeah.
who we will get on the show as soon as possible. If you want to look them up, I don't know, tacticalbeaver.ca probably.
Yeah, and like on
Beaver
all the
spelled
social media,
like the wood eating rodent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're on all the social media. And then Arrowhead Coffee, whose t-shirt I was rocking earlier today.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I think they get it from the place we actually didn't go with, but
Right.
the prices they told us about much better.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Like I did,
Then
I had a couple emails with Nick from Tactical Beaver,
Yeah.
and what they got going on there seems real good. So I definitely like to look at their stuff, and they're veteran owned and operated, and they're Canadian company, right?
As much as we love Matt Best and Article 15 and all that, and you know our boy Tate does Caveman Coffee.
Yep.
We got all these partners and friends in life. A lot more Canadian troops and partners are starting to pop up.
That's right.
And I'm all about the home team too, right?
That's right.
So it's nothing against our friends that we already have, but some of our friends closer to home are trying to do something beautiful in this world. And Jody Mitic Podcast, we're all about collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of sponsors,
Yep.
what's that one we like to eat?
You mean StrongBarsNutrition.com?
Oh, the one I was dipping in my coffee this morning
Absolutely.
when I woke up, and
Yeah.
my Firehouse coffee.
Yes, of course.
House like the Germans.
Yeah.
Yeah, on social media.
Definitely.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yep.
Sorry, I can't do the accent anymore. I take
No, you
myself
definitely
seriously.
can.
Okay, you do one and then I'll do one.
All right. Well, first up, we have StrongBarsNutrition.com, pure strength protein bars. So not regular protein bars. These are premium.
These aren't like
brand.
regular strength.
No, these
Yeah.
are pure.
These
strength.
are mixed strength.
No, they're
Pure
pure
strength.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And they're made with all organic, all natural, all pure, simple ingredients, real food ingredients
Yeah.
go into this food product, which seems to make sense, but is not that common.
Yeah, you okay, so real quick sidebar. So I took a bag full of these two. Where did I go? I think maybe my office.
Right.
And I forget who. Anyway, so I gave it to someone who I thought would be into it.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're not into it, but this person has clearly had way too many of the protein bars that you expect to taste like an O. Henry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So they took a bite and they went, "Oh, this tastes
like it lacks artificial sweetener."
Yeah, like the reaction was like when you give like real mac and cheese to the kids,
right?
Instead of the Kraft.
Yeah.
Well, this is gross. Well, that's real macaroni and real cheese.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but this isn't macaroni and cheese. Like, well, actually,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is.
What's going on with the lights here?
I
think so. Just so you guys know,
went out.
We got some media in the room
Mm-hmm.
who are filming, and the cameraman is just going all, "Oh no, your light overheated." Battery. Oh well. Hey,
That'll
so
happen.
I heard he won number one cameraman in the category of the Jody Mitic podcast, but he might have fallen down to second place.
We'll see. We'll see if the votes come in.
But anyway, so when I explained to them, I said, well, they're like, yeah, it tastes like there's no sugar in it. And I went, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
It's sweetened with honey and oats.
Yeah. We're talking dates, honey, like just the good stuff.
The good stuff. And I'm like, the peanut butter is all organic and natural. This is like, because the reason I gave it to this person is because they're on right now this all natural, no sugar kick.
Yeah.
And I went, this is exactly what you want for a snack.
Yeah.
Like because a snack can be an apple or some grapes or whatever. But sometimes you just don't want that. Like a coffee is like a pastry type thing, right? You always think croissant, you think muffin, you think granola bar, whatever. That's what goes with coffee.
Yep.
Toast and peanut butter.
Right, of course.
But if you're not doing the bread thing, especially, and this person isn't, what's your option to go with your coffee, right? So I was like, this is something you might want to have with your coffee in the morning.
Absolutely.
And once I explained exactly what's in it, they went, oh, okay. And so once they got over that initial like hesitancy, and I, yeah, dude, there is zero sugar. There's no sucralose. There's no artificial sweetener, tasters, colors, preservatives.
Yeah.
Like you order it, our man whips it up, bags it up, mails it to you. And you don't have to worry about what's in it because it's all organic.
That's right.
And the only disclaimer is it may contain wheat.
Right.
And I'm going to talk to him about that and be like, you got to fix that, dog.
Hey, man. That's right.
Well, you want a pure product,
Let's
right?
see.
People that are gluten-free might see that and decide not to buy it, even though the
Right.
chances of getting the gluten are like...
Right. Yeah.
You guys can't tell, but my fingers are touching. And I'm trying to say, like,
very,
it's that,
very, very
it's that
small.
minimal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
How
How about... Could you go ahead and authorize a 10% discount for these people?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, if you type Mitic
Yeah.
into the promo code
in capital letters?
in all capitals,
Okay,
case
okay.
sensitive,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 10% off.
No, you can't do it.
I did it.
Okay,
It's been done. I did it for myself.
Okay, it's authorized.
When
Okay,
I
it's
order,
authorized.
I get 10% off with Mitic discount.
Beauty.
That's how I can afford a Chinook dropping off a pallet.
Right, of
It's
course.
not because I have money.
Right.
It's because I get 10% off.
Sure.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Well, go ahead and get 10% off using that promo code MIDIC.
Boom.
StrongBarsNutrition.com. What
Okay.
else? How about Firehouse
I guess
Coffee
we
Roasters?
did it. That went together.
Yeah, we nailed it. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
Firehouse Coffee Roasters?
What about it?
Small batch coffee roaster, so it's always delicious.
Is
It's
that
always fresh?
is that in a fireman's garage?
Yeah, it is.
So his neighborhood smells the most delicious.
Yes, it does, and that's exactly how I
Blackburn
found
Hamlet.
it.
Oh.
Yep.
That's actually the real story about how you found him.
Yeah, I followed my nose to like, where's this delicious smell of coffee coming from? And
Oh,
it was
that's so
just
good.
around the corner. And there he was, sipping coffee, brewing beans up.
Yeah, I love
It was
it.
glorious.
Go ahead and hit the folks where they can find that.
Yeah, on Facebook, Firehouse Coffee Roasters.
House is spelled Haus, like the Germans, as I always say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And as we said, local guy, Glenn, local first responder, firefighter. He's brewing up the best beans for you. So send him a message on Facebook and he's going to get that out to you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Next, we also have
The Jody Mitic. Oh wait, no,
a book. It's called Unflinching.
Unflinching: The Making of a Canadian Sniper by
Correct.
Jody Mitic.
Correct.
and it's available through Amazon. Go to our website, thejodymiticpodcast.com, and click through to Amazon. You know what? Maybe you got to buy other stuff. T-shirts for the kids back to school.
Sure.
You want to buy some, I don't know, disposable napkins for the next barbecue.
Yeah.
Amazon has everything.
Pens,
One
paper.
day you might need, you could be on the toilet, run out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Order on Amazon. In 8 minutes, a drone shows up, gives you your toilet paper. You're good to go. You will not have to worry about these things in the future.
That serves the
Life's going to be
best day.
so easy.
Yeah.
We will seek out conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Exactly.
more conflict.
For sure.
I actually had a thought about that the other day, which
Yeah?
we can get into after this ad.
That reminds me of a dream. Go ahead. Keep going.
But anyway, go to that. We get a little taste. You help keep us on the air. You help pay for more awesome Jody Mitic Podcast t-shirts, which
Right?
you can also get on the website, thejodymiticpodcast.com.
You betcha.
Go on there, click. We have everything from extra small to double XL. Right now, they're only olive drab green, but that's great because it goes with every tactical outfit you might decide to wear.
Which
and
I
you still
only
look
wear
good when you're at the
jackets.
mall in a jeans and sunglasses.
That's right.
Right. And poly cotton blend, state of the art, the same stuff NASA uses. I mean, really, at the end of the day,
This shirt can go to space.
this shirt can go to space, and you'll survive in the cold blackness of space in this shirt for a solid 0.4 seconds.
That's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, well,
Shoot us an email.
shoot us an email.
We'll figure it out.
If you, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like that guarantee we'll never get, like Cash did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, there's some media people here. If you hear anything in the background, it's cool. They're filming for some stuff. We can't say why.
Top secret for now.
It's top the fuck secret.
Yeah.
Like, never mind top secret. Top the fuck.
Top secret. Like, it has the red stamp over it. That's top secret.
Well, there's the red stamp, and then over that, there's the black stamp over the red.
Right.
And then and that says fuck.
Yeah. And
Like, it's top secret, and then going in the opposite direction, there's fuck in black.
And then in the envelope that has like the wax seal on it.
The wax seal, it's pressed with the ring only one guy wears.
Right.
So you know it's from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
Legit.
I'm excited about that.
I'm excited too. Sorry we didn't hit you guys up with a podcast on Wednesday. And if you listen to the one with Nick, it was pretty good. I didn't mind it, but as Luke pointed out in the preamble, a little bit inside baseball going on there. Just basically it was Nick and I broing down after like 2 years not hanging out.
And it just happened to be recorded.
And we just happened to record it.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows about jiu-jitsu and that, I think, might have appreciated part of it.
Yeah.
Unless they're from like a camp that doesn't like the camp they're from.
That's right.
And then they're going to be
And
like, go fuck yourself.
Sworn enemies.
That's it. Jody Mitic Podcast. Shall
I
burn.
cancel my subscription.
Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
What's been going on with you, man? Been seeing you a lot more lately, so we
I
don't
know.
So I guess let's pretend that we haven't heard about each other's week.
Right, sure. Been doing
So-
lots of jujitsu lately.
Oh.
Yeah.
You like for real?
Yep.
Not just
Classes and private sessions too.
when do you go?
I've been going like Tuesday, Thursday at noon. There's also Saturday morning as well. Those have been the usuals.
Saturday morning, what time?
11.
What is it, an hour?
45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
I could do that.
You can get after it for 45 minutes, right?
I think that's doable.
Sure you can.
I'm one of the reasons we're doing this on a Friday evening, and it'll be out probably Saturday or Sunday, is I'm off to Oregon for a week to do some long range shooting with some friends of mine, and this will be the first time I will fire a long range, more or less sniper rifle, or long range shooting rifle in. It's a solid 4 years.
Okay. So
Or longer.
So what kind of specs are on that rifle? What are we talking that you're
Well,
dealing
I haven't shown it as much on social media as I want to, but I just got a Colt Canada DMR, designated marksman rifle.
Yep.
18-inch unchromed heavy-duty barrel, so it's a lot more accurate than the chromed barrels. And it has all the little bits and pieces on the inside that make a rifle as free-floating barrel. I got a Leopold scope that's going on there, a Mark 6, and that's one of the reasons. Like, this is a Leopold shooting camp.
Yeah.
Or a week of shooting with Leopold, the scope maker.
Yep.
So I'm going to learn how to use the scope to its full capacity. But it's a 5.56 rifle,
Right on.
which is a very small caliber. And so with the setup and with the ammo that I'm going to be using, I'm thinking headshots to 500.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe further.
Okay.
We'll see. But typically a sniper rifle, if you're serious about, if you want to go past 1,000 meters and be accurate, we're talking, and yards and meters is different, guys. And I know I've ranted about this before, and I was giving a little shit to some people on Instagram, just having a little fun. They were going, hey, look at these hits at 1,000 meters. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like 940 or 30 meters. Or, sorry, it was 1,000 yards that they did a hit at.
Right,
They're like 3 shots at 1,000 yards. And I was like, oh, yeah, like 900 and some, like 10 meters. Oh, right. Yeah, I used to play around at the short ranges. That's fun.
Yeah, nice warm-up.
nice warm-up. Yeah. But yeah, you're looking at a 308, 6.5 Creedmoor is the current. Is it Creedmoor? Yeah, because there's a 6.5 Grenville. Yeah, so a 6.5 Creedmoor, which is kind of like, so 308 is 7.62,
right?
When converted.
Yep.
6.5, I believe, if my math is correct, 270 or 280 caliber.
Yep.
But it's got like a 308 casing.
Right.
So it's a bigger casing with a smaller bullet, which makes it go faster and further.
Rock on.
And the bullet, it can still weigh as much if you want. Depends on where you place it inside the casing.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like kind of like cars,
Yeah.
The way you set up the carb, you could have the same engine and set it up 20 different ways and make different power for different. It could be a real straight line for a quarter mile, or it can like go and race, a Trans Am series of races where it's just all corners and braking.
Right. Okay.
Same engine, just set it up a different way.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing or the same car, just different setup, and
yeah,
and you're rocking it for guns and bullets, and that are all pretty much. It's the same thing, but like there's just certain calibers that if you hear it, you go, oh yeah, that's long range.
Right. Okay. So
I'm not sure what rifles we're using. We're going to get them there. I imagine it's probably minimum 308. 6.5 is becoming a lot more popular, so we'll see what they have out there. Since they're borrowed guns, I'm going to say it's probably 308.
Right, okay. Right.
Yeah, so it'll have a scope, decent scope. It'll be bolt action more than likely. 5 to 10 rounds in the mag, and Bob's your uncle.
Okay, rock on.
Free floating barrel, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
We have there's lots of rain going on around here.
Oh, it's brutal. People are getting flooded to their houses as we speak right now, just like a couple miles away.
I'm just getting up to speed on this. I saw pictures like an hour before I came over. Like people are canoeing down their streets.
Yeah. The town over Rockland has declared a state of emergency.
Yeah. What? It's wild.
Yeah. Well, there's so we live in basically the Chapel Hill area, Blackburn. So if you leave here though, you're going downhill mostly to the river.
That's right.
And I kind of realized that one day. Lana and I were talking about moving to a spot near the river.
Right.
And I went, well, if anything floods, we're kind of good here.
Yeah.
Like the water'd have to go really high for us to get flooded.
Definitely.
So I was like, I feel like we shouldn't leave this area.
No,
because there's a big river right over there. Eventually, one day it's coming up.
It's gonna swell.
It's gonna swell up.
Yeah.
So so we're good.
It's getting a big time swell on right now.
We got this. Yeah. Well, it's just we were gonna go shooting today.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to zero the new rifle.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't do it in this weather.
Would have had to bring scuba gear to the range.
Basically, hip waders and scuba gear to lie prone. Yeah.
Not good. Not good. Maybe another day.
And the way that they're forced to run their ranges around here, like the spring thaw, you're just all the ranges are soup anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're not allowed to lay gravel for drainage. So, because you might ricochet a bullet, which I've never heard of happening, but somebody thought it might happen.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
How's Forrest?
Forrest is great.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Yeah.
My girls are good too, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was gonna say, and all this flood talk made me. I had this dream. It was last night, and you reminded me of this just as we were coming
Oh,
on.
right. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about the future destruction of civilization.
Yeah, like, so it was like this, the world was going to shit basically, and I guess I don't know if it was like I don't know really what the reason why was, but like everyone was getting the hell out of Dodge. and I'm like, okay, good. I'm like, I know the spot and I'm going to go. So I pack up the family and we get the hell out and go to this spot. It's like a spot where I would go hunting.
Yeah.
And if this actually happened, like there's like maybe 5 guys that could actually find me. Right. But like I woke up from this, I realized I'm like, okay, well, everything's cool. I'm like, it
was one of those dreams where you could swear it's real?
Yeah, I was just like, oh shit. I was like, okay, don't panic, pull yourself together. You got like a spot. You can.
The fridge is still full of food. The lights are still on. I can still flush the toilet. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all good. But then I started to think, what's my escape plan? If this does go down,
you know what? I've tried to form one, but we are actually in a pretty decent spot,
right,
to ride it out. Again, we're away from the floodplains. There's running water all around us.
Yeah.
And because of course my mind goes to zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So there's wild turkeys around here. There's deer. There was a moose just down the street a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So there's game around to be had. And you got to remember that in that situation, a solid 80% of people panic and run.
Definitely.
So if you button up and waited out the first couple weeks of uncertainty, that's when you can come out, start to gather ammo and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're part of the rush.
Right.
And the rush is where you get killed.
I like where your head's at.
Well,
on this.
remember the movie, was it World War Z? Where he goes into where they go into the grocery store or the Walmart or whatever, and it's just people are shooting each other and like just, they're going crazy. Like a cop is in there stealing diapers and shooting people.
Right.
That's when all that happens.
Yeah.
Button up. Drink out of the toilet, all that stuff that they talk about that you got to do.
Yeah.
And then come out.
There you
After
go.
You could survive that way, like everything that you have in the cupboards and whatever. Most people, I think, could easily survive a solid 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
Don't leave the house. Don't turn on the lights.
Yeah. And
if someone comes in, try to hide.
Yeah.
Whatever, but just
and
ride out the wave. Ride out the wave.
Will have died down.
It'll die down to the point where you're not like being rushed by a crowd of people, or you're not fighting over the last bag of flour, right?
Right, yeah.
That's where you don't want to be, because that's when shit gets crazy.
For sure.
And there's enough people around that are just panicking that even if you got your shit together and you're loaded for bear, you can only shoot so many people before someone hits you in the back of the head with a baseball bat.
That's right.
So just avoid all that. Just button up, maybe talk to your neighbors, form a little community militia.
Yeah.
And just don't participate in the craziness.
Yeah. I dig that.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
But I got guns and bullets at least. And and like I said, most Canadian households with your toilets and all that jazz, you got enough water to last you a bit.
You can make it.
And when shit starts going crazy, just start filling every bottle you can find.
There you go.
Oh, the zombies are coming? Quick, turn on the taps and you just start filling everything.
No problem. I got bottles.
Yeah. Fill the bottles, fill the barrel, get that cooler out of the garage, just fill it up with water.
There you go.
And just wait it out.
That's the key to
success.
But
that's zombies.
Sure.
Or organized thinking people might go, well, why does that house look so clean?
Right.
Kick that door in.
We'll have to make a
If
secondary
they steal your
plan.
car, let them take it. Like, whatever, man. There's going to be all kinds of shit laying around once.
That's right.
Once all the killing is done.
So hold the line. And
hold the line.
Hold the line, and then there'll be plenty
Form
of
your
resources.
troop. Yep. Get your allies. Hold the line. You'll be good to go.
Nice. I like that.
Anyway. Oh, but the reason I thought, where was I? I was putting gas in the Jeep earlier.
Right.
And I'm watching. So there's like this thing for ice next to the gas station.
Yeah.
And I thought, and a water truck pulls in, like one of those big like tanker trucks.
Yep.
It says like bulk water delivery.
Okay.
And then I thought he was putting water into the ice machine.
Right.
Or I thought he was gonna, and then I saw like right next to it, there was like the big, there's like this big plastic jerry can that says for squeegee water only.
Right. Okay.
Right. So he's filling that up, and I'm not sure if it's like I thought it said bulk spring water, so I'm kind of like, that's kind of weird. Why would you use spring water to clean windows?
Yeah.
A, and B, why wouldn't the gas station just use a hose and fill that up themselves?
Right.
Must be cheaper, or they wouldn't do it.
Guess.
But when I thought he was putting water into the ice machine, I thought, oh shit, they've built ice machines that make and bag the ice right there, thus eliminating everyone except the guy who has to show up and put a new roll of
Right.
bags in there.
And that's what it's coming down to.
But that's coming,
And then
eventually it'll be a drone car
yeah.
that'll show up and like have a special little
And some like robot arm is going to
right.
come out.
So
of
now.
it.
There's no delivery guy for the ice.
Yeah.
There's no delivery guy just for the bags that go into the ice making machine.
Right.
How are people gonna pass the time except coming up with ways to fuck with each other? And that's when I went, oh, that's why Elon Musk is so scared of EI and robots.
Right.
It's
yeah.
not that they'll destroy us. It's that they'll give us the time to think about how to destroy each other. Because look at how easy life is now. You can go to Starbucks. You can get a burger at any corner, so there's no like hunter-gatherer type mentality required if you have the money.
That's right.
Which is most of North America.
Yep.
And look at our social situation right now.
Yeah.
I'm on team people ultimately,
You bet.
but there might be a period of balancing out that I didn't really think of.
Okay.
Where we like everyone's looking for identity.
Yep.
So there's all these new gender norms and pronouns that are being introduced almost daily. I read about a guy who identifies as a sexless alien.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be, or sorry, I shouldn't say. I forget. I apologize if anyone's listening who cares. I forget the pronoun he wants to use.
Right.
But he wants to be like he wears contacts that are black.
Right.
He's had all this surgery done to take away any defining feature to male or female.
Yeah.
And like that's how much so you're not a blacksmith anymore, you're not a hunter, you're not a warrior, right. You're not a king, you're not a serf. You can be that, and that's great.
Yep.
To be whatever you want to be. I'm just saying, when you can't even, because that person who, again, okay, that alien, I guess I believe is what they would prefer to be referred to as,
right,
is a model.
Right.
Now.
Yep.
25, 50, 100 years from now, computers will design whatever you want to look at. So there goes modeling. Get rid of modeling. Get rid of acting.
Yep.
It'll all be cartoons or CGI.
Yep.
There's like going to be no jobs for people.
Yeah.
So is that where we stop breeding and just kind of fade away while the computers and the robots take over?
We'll have to
and we evolve
out.
Into that?
Yeah, because we won't have shit to do.
But you know what, though? Even today, when we have people up in the space station, there's still people running around the Amazon with spears that have never seen anyone but their tribe.
Right, true.
So, you know, like they're,
right?
So North America and Europe might become these robot run places with just a few people left around, kind of like, because why not?
Sure.
Because they managed to figure out how to survive without trying to kill the people or whatever.
Yep.
And then the other parts of the world will just be like moving into the industrial age.
Yeah.
Or the information age. I don't know.
Interesting.
I know. Kind of weird thought process.
Because,
you know what, though? Let's pause real quick.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Got it.
Got it. We're back.
Got it. Oh, man.
What are you doing there?
Nothing. We'll talk about it later.
Roger that.
So we took a pause there real quick while the media crew cleared out.
That's right. Picked up their gear, headed out.
To you guys, it was literally probably a millisecond of
real fast.
What? It was
real fast.
Real fast.
Yeah.
But while I was waiting for him to leave, I checked my Twitter real quick, and I follow Russia Today. Not because I'm a communist, but just so I can get what they're saying about situations, because otherwise you're only getting one version.
Right.
And they do this RT, Russia Today 1917. It's at RT_1917. I'm assuming, and it's confirmed, or it's got the verified check mark, so it must be real. I'm assuming they'll make a new one for 1918. But
sure.
they tweet, and I know a bunch of things do this, but they tweet like 100 years ago is today. So May 5th?
Yeah, May 5th.
May 5th, 1917. This was in the paper, apparently. Bloody failure of Neville offensive. Pretty sure that's a British general. Anyway, I'll have to Google that after.
Yeah.
It says Entente, which is what the Allies were called during World War I, suffer massive losses. Oh, wait, no, the Entente was the German side.
Was the Triple Entente. No.
No?
You're right.
Am I?
Yeah. As I remember it from history class.
Man, I'm a history geek. I should know this.
We might have to bone up a little bit.
That's why we need a Google guy. Okay. Okay, now I'm getting definitions. Oh, there we go. The Triple Entente was the Russian, the French, and the United Kingdom. So you're right. Yeah, so we were right. Okay, so anyway, Entente suffer massive losses as France counts 180,000 dead and wounded. Britain, 160,000. Hashtag 1917 live. Holy shit.
Is that like 340,000? Put those together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Between the two, and then, if Russia was part of it, who knows how many they would have reported.
Yeah.
From the Eastern Front. And that's just one operation. And the other day we were talking about Medusa, where we lost 4 guys on the first day.
Right.
And could you imagine 180,000 people?
Just
that's
like that.
That's Orleans.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, the whole section.
The whole east of Ottawa gone. East to, I think that's more than Orleans. I think Orleans is only at about 120 or 30 right now. Like, holy.
Yeah.
And then Britain, 160,000. What's Brockville right now? Brockville isn't even.
I don't think they're that high even, yeah.
Yeah, that's like whole cities just gone. 2 whole cities gone.
Yeah.
Remember that tsunami that hit Asia or mostly it hit Indonesia and mostly Thailand. I think it Thailand? It hit the hardest. Yeah, it was just 500,000 people gone.
Yeah,
in one wave.
Incredible.
Never mind all the damage it did to the infrastructure and all that stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeez,
that's pretty wild. I'll have to follow that. That's
you know what? I'm gonna follow that now that I see it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's at. What did I say it was? At RT_1917.
Okay, I'm on it.
Oh, there's Kaiser, Germany, 1917. The official Twitter account of the German Empire. Nice. Russian Parliament, the official Twitter account of the Russian Parliament, 1917. That's funny. Anyway, just wow.
So you mentioned Medusa in there, and this has been kind of back in the news as of late with our Minister of National Defense.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Do you care to get into this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean we don't have a lot of time left, troops, but we want to leave you with something for the next week or so while we're off gallivanting around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. I don't, maybe not get too deep, but I mean I don't know what you feel about it, but I've been getting some flack because I'm not calling for him to be mobbed.
Right.
I'm actually telling people to maybe relax a little bit.
Yeah.
100% I agree. What he said in the grand scheme of things is not correct.
Okay, so maybe we should break it down for the people that aren't familiar.
Oh, right.
First.
Yeah, not the whole world doesn't know.
Right, yeah.
So our Minister of National Defense, which a lot of our audience is American, he'd be like our Secretary of Defense.
Right.
And except he's an elected member of our government, whereas I think the SecDev, as they call him, can be appointed.
Okay.
Like Rumsfeld, he wasn't elected when he was appointed Secretary of Defense.
Right.
But I think it's either or down. I think you can be elected or not for those positions.
Right on.
Not positive. I'm sure someone down there could school us on it. But point is, he's the minister. He's the government representative of the military. So he basically more or less commands the the generals.
Right.
Or, yeah, I think. But our commander-in-chief of our military is actually our governor-general, not the prime minister.
Right, yeah.
But the governor-general is the Queen's representative to Canada. And then if you're provincial, there's a lieutenant governor, and they're the Queen's representative to the provinces.
Right on.
And the territories. So, yeah, he gave a speech and he made a statement during his campaign where he said he was the architect of Operation Medusa, which was the first large-scale offensive operation NATO's ever embarked on.
Right.
But also the first offensive operation, the first named offensive operation since Korea for Canadian troops.
Right.
You know, some of my brothers and sisters were on offensive. How do I put it? They were doing offensive ops, which is a way of saying that they were doing advance to contact. They were doing aggressive patrolling. They were getting in all kinds of gunfights and stuff, and they were trying to push the enemy left and right and just feel them out. But you know, that's offensive operations, or it's because it's not defensive. So when you're out looking for the bad guys, that's considered offensive.
Right. Yep.
Whereas, I'm very offended, but you know, you don't get to go into a safe space. Even when you're in your camps, you're not that safe usually. But like when you draw a line in the sand and give it a name, that's called an offensive op. That's an offensive operation.
Okay.
Large scale.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not like you're splitting hairs. It's just kind of like, what's the definition? You know, so, because I just remember having this discussion with a guy who was there on the tour before us, who was like, yeah, that wasn't the first offensive operation since Korea. And I was like, well, no, I mean, technically, Op Anaconda back in 2002 was an offensive operation that Canadians were on. They didn't lead it, and it wasn't NATO, though.
Right.
And it wasn't large scale and Canadian led. Like this one, so Op Medusa was Canadian led, NATO defined under the NATO banner, and it was large scale. It was like a whole battle group drawing a line in the sand and going and moving forward.
Right.
Right.
Right on.
So that's a named offensive operation. First in NATO's history on the ground. I mean, they've done a bunch of air ops against Serbia and what was Libya, I think, was one of them. And because air operations are very low risk. Right. Even if you lose a couple pilots, it's a couple pilots versus, you know, Canada lost, I think we lost 40 something troops on the whole operation.
Right.
Not Medusa, sorry, but Op Medusa, I think we lost 17 or 20 something Canadians, and then there was also casualties from the other coalition members. But anyway, he gave a speech where he said he was the architect of Op Medusa, and he was on the main assault.
Right.
And my initial reaction too was like, that's not good.
Okay.
And I haven't forgiven him for the statement, for what he said, but at the same time, I wasn't about to turn my back on a fellow veteran and soldier over a word.
Right.
From the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything necessarily. The media, they kept calling. This is how I first heard about it, through the media. Some guy texting and calling me, you know, what do you think of this statement? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I looked it up, because when I heard it, I was going, he wouldn't have said that. He would have said maybe he was one of the architects, or he was part of the team of architects, or something like that. And even then, most military guys and girls might roll their eyes or just be like, well, you know, typical officer or typical politician, overstating his or her importance. But you'd get away with it more or less because it's the we.
Right.
His mistake was he put it into the terms of the I.
Right. Okay.
And there's no I in team, and that's the reason. So I stayed out of it until I heard the opposition, which is a political party I belong to right now, especially to help my friend Aaron O'Toole, who's running for leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Their interim leader started calling it stolen valor.
Right.
And that's when I was like, wait, hold on. Okay, settle down. He's earned every medal on his chest.
Right.
There's no dispute about that. There's no dispute about his record as a soldier. He's got all kinds of commendations from all kinds of generals and things. Even the sitting chief of defense staff right now, back in the day, before any of them were anybody important, sang his praises. So, I know people that work in his office, and being a soldier turned politician myself, and our offices are literally across the street from each other.
Right.
Because he's at NDHQ and I'm at Ottawa City Hall. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, if he wants, I'll sit down and chit chat with him and just kind of give him a perspective of a guy who's been through. I mean, mine was sort of national, sort of whatever, because it was a gun thing.
Right.
And it was also when I, tweeted shot a shark in the face, which in hindsight, maybe a little aggressive.
Sure. Yeah.
But I know what it's like to kind of screw up and get the wave of hate, right?
Right, yeah.
He's getting it even worse because for a lot of conservatives and New Democratic Party followers, it's like, a chance to just beat up on a liberal.
Right, of course.
And that includes fellow soldiers and veterans.
Right.
A lot of them are conservative, a lot of them are NDP.
Right.
And so their initial interest is more about, because soldiers are loyal. So if you've picked a team, you're going to be, they're going to be very loyal, and they're going to take a chance.
You bet.
To jump on that, which is fine. But just like the vitriol.
Visceral?
No, not visceral.
No,
it's like the meanness. Vitriol. Anyway, my mom pointed out the other day I don't say the word right, so now I don't want to say it. But
right.
I always said vitriol, and nobody corrected me until my mom did, and I'm like, shut up, Mom.
Right.
And the hate and the complete dismissal of everything he's ever done for the poor choice of words. Because, again, especially after I sat down with him and talked to him for I just let him talk for a solid 90 minutes.
Yeah.
To get it out of his system, and I was like, well, yeah, actually, I can see why he chose the words he did.
Right. Okay. Yep.
From his perspective, but I even told him right there. I said, yeah, but you know better, and you should never use those words when you're talking about the military.
Right.
That's his crime.
Okay. Yep.
Right. But for other politicians to claim insult for us and use word, I don't know, using the word stolen valor is kind of like, what's the equivalent? I'm trying to think. Like it's like using a nuke when you need to throw a hand grenade.
Right.
In my opinion.
Because like stolen valor has been like equated with, like, as I know it, it's like people who were never actually soldiers, like dressing up in like a soldier's uniform, and
that's a big one.
Right?
That's
so, like,
the worst case of it.
So that's a big difference.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And this guy still was a cop. In Vancouver, he was an undercover. If I remember correct, he was pretty good as a cop. He was a detective, I believe, or an investigator, whatever rank system they use at the Vancouver Police Department. He was good at the job he did as not necessarily intelligence gatherer, but I'm not positive exactly what his role was even now, and I don't want to speak for him. But if you're a cop and you're an investigator, detective, whatever, of course you're going to be good at piecing things together and looking for the clues that others might miss, right?
Yeah.
So of course he's going to be naturally good at that stuff, even in an environment like Afghanistan, right?
Right.
So anyway, again, I don't want to let him speak for himself. I think he might come on the podcast to talk about this at some point, but maybe not, depending on what the party says. Who knows? They might tell him to just shut his yap.
Yeah. Okay.
Let it die. The bottom line is he did commit an offense, but it's not a write him off offense in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
And in my after hearing him out, I was like, you know what? Everything you've said to me, especially as a fellow soldier and a veteran.
Yeah.
And a guy who's been there, done that. and a guy who him and I after talk, because he didn't even know I was on Op Medusa.
Okay.
When he called me,
Right.
He just knew I was another Afghan veteran.
Right. Okay.
So when he started explaining stuff about, because the other thing he said was he was on the main assault.
Right.
And to me and everyone that I was with, the main assault was September 2nd, 2006, where we drove into the village and got ambushed. Well, I mean, we expected to get shot at, but certainly not for things to go the way they did.
Right, okay.
4 killed, a dozen injured, 3 vehicles left on the battlefield burning.
Yeah.
And us, reorganizing and going, what the fuck? What happened there?
Yeah.
Because it just didn't. Again, your plan doesn't survive contact with the enemy,
Right.
And the plan certainly did not survive contact with the enemy,
Right.
by any stretch of the imagination. So, so to people that were there that day and me, and my initial reaction, it was, what call sign? So I even asked, I said, what call sign were you?
Right.
And then he explained he was there when Canadians and, Americans, and Afghan troops took objective Rugby,
Okay.
which was our main objective that day on the 2nd. But this is a solid 2 weeks later.
Right.
After, because the day after the battle that I was in, we were accidentally strafed by an American A-10,
Right.
which killed one of our guys and wounded 30-something others, including the officer in command of Charles Company, the new replacement company sergeant major. My sniper team was slightly off and up in the mountain, just overlooking the company, which is our MO, standard operating procedure. And so we weren't hit, but all of our friends were.
Right, yeah.
So when I went down for orders after, everyone was evacuated and we kind of unfucked ourselves, it was me and like a couple sergeants and one captain.
Right.
Everyone else had been wounded, pretty much.
Right.
And then there was a few corporals, privates scattered out there still.
Yep.
So Charles Company was rendered combat ineffective. And so the main thrust of the battle, because it's still, under the operation, is still technically a battle.
Right.
So the main thrust of an effort of the operation / battle went to the north of the position to Bravo Company, who was still at full strength, obviously.
Right.
So then he was with that group 2 weeks-ish later when they pushed through to Objective Rugby, which was the schoolhouse that we were going after, right?
Okay.
And they had to... Anytime you're doing something like that, it's an assault.
Right.
It's called, that's just what it's called.
Yeah.
Whether you shoot 1 bullet or 1,000 or none, you are still assaulting, right, into the objective. You're still operating as if you're going to run into the enemy at any time. And it's like when the SWAT team comes in, they're not... just because you don't resist them doesn't mean they're not assaulting through the doorway.
Right, yeah.
Because... That's why in our special operations units, they have assaulters and they have snipers.
Right.
Right. That's kind of how they define themselves. Of course, being a sniper, right? You call them door kickers or whatever you want, but they're the ones that break down doors and smash heads.
Yeah.
So they're assaulters, and then you're assaulting onto the objective.
That makes sense.
You take the landing zone by force, assault the landing zone, take it and hold it, even if no one resists. Act as if they might.
Right.
Right. So, in his mind, in his slice of the pie, and the lens that he saw the war through, he was on the main assault, and his involvement in a lot of other things ended up having someone call him the architect.
Right.
Again, I'm
Okay.
trying not to speak for him, but I'm
Sure.
trying to say why I decided that I'm not turning my back on him.
Yeah.
Just like I wouldn't turn my back on any of my brothers and sisters over a word.
Right. Yeah.
And, so I've been, on Facebook and stuff, I've lost a few fans, I've gained a few others, but not for the reasons why either of them think. A lot of them are hardcore liberals going, thanks, yeah, that's right, he's a good guy. And I'm going, well, no, he's still fucked up, guys, don't forget.
Right.
And he's got a lot of work to do to rebuild trust between him and the troops.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows this. He was one of us.
Yeah.
Just like you know, he so he just when he said that he was the main, I can't remember the exact quote, but I believe he said he was the main architect. Even the general in charge, he might be able to get away with saying it, but everyone would roll their eyes and be like, okay, yeah, you're the battle, the generalissimo, Napoleon Dynamite of Op Medusa.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just he committed a sin amongst soldiers,
Right.
but he certainly didn't commit one that means we should all turn our back and dismiss him.
Okay, right on.
He didn't talk. He didn't. Well, he didn't. It's not like he did. I don't know. I'm trying to. It's tough because people said he should step down. It wouldn't be the wrong thing to do.
Right.
But in this case, I don't know if it's necessarily the right thing he should do.
Right. Because
or has to do.
It's funny how, like, if he would have chose one different word.
If he had just added one word, or just said, I was one of the planners.
That it doesn't become this big story that nobody's even talking about. Oh, should he step? Is it proper for him to step down? Like all these things, right? That's wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but tape emerged later of him saying, because everyone was kind of like, a lot of people, even me, kind of too, was like, well, it's one slip of the tongue, and English is his second language, and he was in India talking to a room full of people, Indian businessmen and military guys and stuff. So I don't know, maybe it didn't translate properly, and they're like, well, no, it was given in English. I'm like, oh, well, there goes that excuse, right? Like it's because you start to try and piece it together because he's way smarter than that.
Okay, yeah.
But he's also human.
Sure.
And he's also been through a lot.
Yeah.
Having been there, done that on multiple times.
Yeah.
Plus he's a cop. So he has, maybe he has certain thought patterns because of that.
Yep.
I'm not making any excuses for him. I'm just trying to, rationalize.
Yeah, like
but the reaction has been so just negative. And which again, I understand, but at the same time, I sure hope I never fuck up.
Right, yeah.
Or any of the guys calling for him to just be written off. Well, I hope none of you guys fuck up.
Yeah.
Because
no kidding.
Well, no, I'm like, guys, like we always say how much we support each other. It's not like he claimed he single-handedly won the battle.
Yeah.
Like he just said, yeah, I was the planner, I was the architect. Which again, yeah, no, you weren't, but he was part of a small group who definitely designed and had influence.
Yep.
And then, but it's not like he's saying he planted the flag on the objective himself after taking out 100 Taliban single-handedly with his bayonet and saving 100 kids from the You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like he went that crazy and said, oh, here's my Victoria Cross.
Yep.
He's not walking around with a VC on his chest or the Medal of Honor, or it's like he's not wearing the Fleur de Guerre from France. Like, you got every high award from every NATO country, like crazy. Which guys have done.
Yep.
Guys, girls in uniform have worn medals that they're not supposed to, been demoted for it, gone to jail for it.
Right.
He didn't do any of that. He just he presented his view in a with words that he shouldn't have.
Right. Well, it's good to get your perspective on it because you were there at that time. You have that background, right? Where the reaction of the media is severe, like as it usually is with these types of things, right? Because that gets more clicks and more headlines and things like that.
Well, not just the media. I mean, the opposition, of course, and of course, the opposition will always tell you. And these guys were just in the opposition group. Now were just in power for a solid, almost a solid decade.
Mm-hmm.
Rona Ambrose herself was a minister, which is one of the reasons why I get disappointed when I hear some of the language she uses herself. Because I'm like, I feel like she's above some of this like stuff, mudslinging.
Right.
The leader should always, in my opinion, be above mudslinging. At some point, right? Like it's not worthy of the leader.
Yeah.
Interim leader or not. That's just my opinion. I'm not in that game, so maybe I should stay out of it. But it's just when she said it, and I heard a few other people saying stolen valor. That's when I had to step in and be like, guys, come on, like what are we saying here?
Yeah,
like he didn't do that. Yeah, but I still agree. Like, he screwed up, and he's going to have to pay the penance. You know, he's going to have to, serve the sentence.
Yeah.
And if he survives it or not is going to be how he approaches it. I know from experience how personally tough it can be mentally to deal with the negativity flowing at you.
Yep.
But most of the hardest criticism are going to come from people that never supported him anyway.
Yeah.
So I reminded him of that. I'm not going to write off a guy like him for one word.
There you go. Good stuff.
There's no fucking way. And I would hope that the troops, the Jody Mitic podcast would at least reconsider how hard they criticize him. Don't stop criticizing.
Yeah.
But don't dismiss someone completely, regardless of their station in life. Because I've heard too, I've gone back and forth with a few people on Facebook and Twitter. As a minister, he's a higher standard. And I'm like, 100% agreed. But he's still a human. He's still a veteran. He's still a soldier.
Yep.
And he's, and not that he's only, but he's been the minister he did all that for his whole life. He's been the minister for 18, 19, 20 months.
Right. Yeah.
Since whatever in 2005. Whatever date they took over in 2015.
Yeah, that's right.
Which we only remember because Trudeau went, it's 2015.
That's right.
That's all, man. Like, it just bums me out when we get so hard on each other.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what he went through. And, I've had guys be like, oh, I was there, and he sure as hell wasn't in the battle. And, one of the guys who might be listening is on my Facebook saying stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, man, I was there too. I didn't see you.
Right.
That doesn't mean you weren't there.
Yep.
We all had our own little, a battle's a battle. We all have our own little piece that we see. And then we remember, and is our memory correct? For the longest time, I thought the bulldozer that was with us was yellow.
Right.
Because it's a bulldozer.
Yeah.
And then, Barry and a bunch of other people were like, it was green because it was from the army. Stupid.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was, right? But in my mind, because I was too busy, not getting shot and trying to whatever, and I was carrying a wounded guy, or I wasn't carrying him. Sorry, I was helping a wounded guy get to one of the armored just from that comment,
yeah.
I could be, fireman carry. Yeah. No, I had a wounded guy, and I helped him, arm over the shoulder, grabbing his belt so he could run to an armored ambulance. So I was too busy doing that, I guess, to really let it sink in that the bulldozer was yellow.
Yeah.
So, I just, for guys who've been there, done that, to just completely write a guy off for one word is just disheartening to me.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm being too hard on them. I don't know. I just feel like if we backed each other up more as veterans and weren't so quick to try and find a flaw in someone, I feel like we'd be doing a lot better with our fights with the government, with our fights with Veterans Affairs, not necessarily the fights with the government. I mean, whichever government is there, Veterans Affairs has been a problem. So I'm not going to blame any government. I mean, you can blame them, sort of, but I mean, the same bureaucrats have been there for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And there's one bureaucrat in particular who, in my opinion, and a bunch of other people, now that we've all kind of been there, done that for the last 10 years, we're starting to realize him and his cronies are probably the real problem. The real enemy is him and his attitude and the cronies around him.
Right.
And we're going to get to the bottom of that, though.
Fair enough.
At some point. Strap in, turn your hats backwards.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
getting real. Crack them knuckles.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say to it right now. This is going to come out in a couple days. I'm going to be gone for a week shooting, guys. May or may not listen to my podcast. May or may not have cell phone coverage. I don't know exactly where we're going.
Yeah.
But just, if you're listening, guys, let's remember who we're talking about. Yes, the position he holds is one where he is held obviously to a much higher standard, just as I've been pointed out to me several times that despite what I may think, or if I tweet shooting a shark in the face, that was a mistake. As interesting as it might have been for the reaction, why say it? Right. And so he's learning that lesson now, right? He hasn't been politicking as long as I have.
Yep.
And so, not that I'm like that much longer than him, but I guess I went through it before he did. So any kind of controversy.
Yeah.
And, let's try and support it's like we're wearing the Jody Mitic podcast t-shirt, but earlier today I had on the Arrowhead coffee, right? I got the Tactical Beaver.
Yep.
I want to sell our t-shirts as much as I want to sell Tactical Beaver t-shirts.
Sure, man.
It's not. And then, we're thinking about starting that tactical training company with a guy, and he's talking about the competition. I'm like, why say let's talk about collaboration.
Man, we can all do awesome.
Like in my opinion, if Tactical Beaver, Arrowhead Coffee, Cadex Canada, who's turned into a great long range rifle maker, Colt Canada, like all these companies and auxiliary companies and other podcasts I might be starting up, if they do good, we do good.
100%.
And that's just how I'm trying to see things. And so if the Minister of National Defense does good, the military does good.
Yep.
So why not support him and trying, because he's a soul. He breathed the dust. Peter MacKay, who, was a sort of a friend of mine when he was minister, great guy, tried to do a lot of stuff, but still coming at it from a perspective of never having been there and done that.
Right. Very different.
Minister of Defense Harjit Sajjan has held a rifle, pointed it at someone, shot at them, and been shot back at.
Yep.
He's been under fire. He's dealt with casualties, all that jazz. And so if anyone's going to do good for the military,
this is the guy.
He could be a complete failure at the end of the day, but he's the guy I would, just like I want Aaron O'Toole to win leadership of the Conservative Party.
Yep.
Because he's been there, done that. He was a navigator on Sea Kings, not exactly the most trustful aircraft.
Right.
But he did it,
Yep.
So if anyone knows what the military needs, even if it's from that lens of perspective,
yep,
it's him, So imagine if one of these guys becomes prime minister.
There you go.
And somebody in the Treasury Board says, yeah, we're going to slash the budget. But he's, no, you're not. Actually, where's those ships you promised? Where's this? Where's that?
Yeah.
Find the money. If the minister does good, we do good. So regardless of whatever political leaning I have, my overall goal is to support the forces. Yep. And you don't achieve that by pissing all over the minister.
That's right.
Unless, again, if he had actually committed stolen valor,
right,
or he was a typical back in the day, the Minister of National Defense was kind of like, you got the job to have it for a bit, to hand it off to say you were a minister. Okay. Like under the Chrétien Liberals, you couldn't give that job away.
Right, okay.
But you still were a minister, right? So for the rest of your life, you're the right honorable because you were a minister. I think that's how it works. So, maybe he could be a complete failure at the end of the day. I don't see that yet.
Yeah.
I see a guy who did the job and then, in his civilian life still served his community as a sworn police officer. And now he made one little mistake and that's it. Get rid of him. Fuck him. Everything he's tried to accomplish, just start from zero with the next guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way, man. Back him up. Give him shit, but you still, back him up.
Roger
I'm going to get a lot of trouble for saying this from some people. But
Sure.
those are the people, I guess, that, again, tried, for whatever reason, see everything through a political lens when, in my opinion, military stuff, I'm conservative. I'm a red Tory, right? I'm a liberal conservative in a lot of ways. But the Conservative Party under Prime Minister Harper didn't support the military any more or less than any other sitting government.
Right.
They responded to the situation in Afghanistan. They bought certain equipment. Some of that equipment that they took credit for was ordered under the Paul Martin government, blah, 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 that's politics, right? There's certain projects that come up while you're like since I've been counselor that the last guy started.
Right.
And you're there, so you get a certain amount of credit for it. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
So no big deal there. But I'm saying, like, you know, we're no better or worse right now than we were under the other guys.
There you go.
That's all. Not yet. If it gets worse, then then we have a right to start getting rowdy.
Right.
But up till now, you know, we're active. We have a bunch of missions going on. You know, we're still receiving a certain amount of equipment. Some things have been delayed, but almost everything was delayed under the last government too.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't even manage to replace snowmobiles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Snowmobiles. We make the best ones in the world here in this country. We couldn't just order snowmobiles for the Rangers up north.
Too funny.
I don't know. I am oversimplifying a few things, but at the same time, you know, it just bums me out at the end of the day, and I'm not willing to walk away from a guy for one word.
Awesome.
Not yet.
Yep. Okay.
So that's that, buddy. I guess you got to get rolling, eh?
Yes,
I know it's
sir.
a short one, troops. What do we have? We're probably only at like 40 minutes.
We're over an hour now.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
damn.
Yeah.
All right. So keep your powder dry, troops. Like I always say, this is episode 36. I'm going to skip the ads at the end. Maybe you can add them.
I'll add them in.
If you want, you know, we're the Jody Mitic podcast, and we're on the side of the good guys, and we're out.
All right. So, episode 36 of the podcast was brought to you by StrongBarsNutrition.com, Firehouse Coffee Roasters on Facebook, and of course, Unflinching, The Making of a Canadian Sniper, written by Jody Mitic. If you are looking for other ways to support the podcast, we're about to break that down for you right now. You can head over to the website, thejodymiticpodcast.com, click on the store, get yourself the first ever, the flagship t-shirt of the Jody Mitic podcast. It's in the standard issue, OD green, so you're looking fresh, and you can wear it with all of your kit. It's super soft, and it has the logo on the front, Jody Mitic Podcast, and we are the good guys on the sleeve, because that's who we are and that's what we do. You can be looking fresh with these shirts. Limited quantity left of these, though. So we may be running out of your size, so get to the website, thejodymiticpodcast.com, click on the store, get yourself one of these fancy shirts through there. That's a good way to support. You can also use the Amazon click-through for any of shopping that you're doing on Amazon. And, of course, you can get your pens, your paper, your toothpaste, your anything else on Amazon. But you can also get Unflinching on Amazon. Use the click-through on the website, on the support page, to get your things that you need from Amazon. They'll give us a little taste of that, and that helps us keep on keeping on. Also, Audible.com has an offer for you. Now you can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/the Jody Mitic podcast. So Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. They have over 180,000 titles to choose from. You can access this from your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, your MP3 player, whatever you got going on with that many titles. You can find a whole bunch that you're definitely going to love. So to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/the Jody Mitic podcast. Again, that's audibletrial.com/the Jody Mitic podcast for your free audiobook. Maybe you want to get your keto on. Maybe you want to have unlimited energy all day long. Maybe you want to look super good or have mental clarity that you've never thought of before. You can get that. You can supplement your keto lifestyle with a brand called Prove It Now. Keto OS is the product. Whether you want to get your weight loss on, maybe you're looking for performance enhancements, or my favorite, the improved mental clarity, the Keto OS can help you get there. And if you want to check that out, go to thejodymiticpodcast.proveitnow.com. That's PRUVITNOW.com, and check out all the products they have going on there. So again, if you're looking for weight loss, performance enhancement, or improved mental clarity, Keto OS can help you get there. The Jody Mitic Podcast.proveitnow.com.